Senator Panfilo Lacson says Peter Jamel Advincula, the man claiming to be Bikoy, was backed by some active police officials in 2016. The Philippine National Police acquires copy of a standing warrant of arrest against Peter Jamel Advincula for estafa case. The country's economic growth slows down to 5.6% in the first quarter of 2019. And learn about the reason why Britain's Prince Harry and his wife Meghan named their newborn son Archie. Good evening. Senator Panfilo Lacson says that several police officers were behind alias Bikoy in 2016. For the senator, the man who has recently introduced himself publicly as alias Bikoy has no credibility and that his statements are mere inventions. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Former Philippine National Police or PNP Chief Senator Panfilo Lacson revealed today that in 2016, some police officials were behind or were the handlers of Peter Jamel Advincula, who has introduced himself as alias Bikoy. In 2016, Advincula accused the administration of former President Benigno Aquino III of being involved in the illegal drug trade based on a revelation made by Senate President Vicente Sotto III yesterday. Senator Lacson said he wants to talk to those former and active PNP personnel.
Initially, inisip ko is to talk to those people because some of them I know personally.
Opo, mga ilan, sir?
Maliit na grupo lang ito. Siguro sabihin natin mga 5 or 6 police officers.
Mga taga-PMA din?
Yung iba, unfortunately.
Senator Lacson added the unnamed ranking police officials during that time just wanted to impress the incoming Duterte administration. But the senator clarified he does not know who is now behind Bikoy, who is this time accusing the first family as involved in illegal drug operations. For Senator Lacson, alias Bikoy has no credibility to tell the truth.
Obviously, invento kasi sabi nga ni Senate President, di ba, chinek niya sa HSBC. Non-existent yung account.
Aside from non-existent bank account numbers, there are pieces of information in Advincula's two separate affidavits which are contradicting one another. These include Advincula's date of transfer to Misibis Bay in Bicol and some of the identity codes of the personalities allegedly involved in illegal drugs. Advincula first communicated the office of Senator Sotto in 2016 through Hutch Altavas, Senator Sotto's chief political affairs. Advincula had submitted his affidavit with his request for financial assistance and protection for his family, Altavas said.
Yung una, na maisalang siya as Senate witness. Pangalawa, makalaya siya.
According to Altavas, their last communication with Advincula was in April 2017.
He communicated, siguro nakalabas na siya. That was the last time, April 17. 2017. Nakalaya na siya. At yung hinihiling niya, kung pwede rin siya manood ng Itbulaga.
But because of questionable details in his affidavit, Senator Sotto did not give weight on Advincula's allegations in 2016. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
President Rodrigo Duterte does not plan to file charges against alleged conspirators to discredit the Duterte administration. Malacanang released yesterday a new diagram accusing Liberal Party, Magdalo Group, and some media outfits of plotting to oust Duterte to boost the opposition candidacies. In his speech during a campaign rally in Bohol last night, Duterte claimed the information dismissed by those accused for lack of concrete evidence came from a foreign intelligence community.
Daga ilang utsot himo na po black propaganda o gipagawas nako na ay intelligence community dili Filipino. Actually kibaw mo kinsa na if you try to read my character. Minagay yung symmetric motong ni gawas eh. Kaya nagpadala sila itong ilang mga black propaganda sa akong anak. Well, I'm not interested to file cases.
The National Bureau of Investigation says Peter Jamel Advincula and alias Maru Nguyen may also be charged before the court in relation to the viral Bikoy videos. April Senedoza explains why.
The National Bureau of Investigation or NBI said today The charges for inciting to sedition can also be filed against Peter Jamel Advincula and alias Maru Nguyen for being involved in the controversial Bikoy ang totoong narcoless videos circulating online. Peter Jamel Advincula is the man who surfaced before the Integrated Bar of the Philippines or IBP on May 6 and introduced himself as the Bikoy in a series of videos that have gone viral online entitled Ang Totoong Narcolist.
He willingly confessed na siya yung nag-participate o siya yung gumawa ng video. That could be an evidence against him.
While alias Maru Nguyen is the person who, according to Rodel Jaime, the website creator of metrobalita.net, told him to create the website linked to the Bikoy videos.
Yung inciting to sedition, pwede namin silang filean on the theory of conspiracy. At the same time, meron din aspect dyan na cyber libel. And at the same time, meron din aspect dyan ng violation of yung anti-violence against Women and Children Act.
According to the NBI, the website metrobalita.net had constantly shared the Bikoy videos, which are used to accuse the First Family and some personalities close to President Rodrigo Duterte of having involvement in the illegal drug trade, based on what Bikoy on the videos claim as financial records of a drug syndicate. NBI Cybercrime Division Chief Attorney Vic Lorenzo said that should Advincula's evidence be proved to be true, he could seek assistance from the authorities and sue personalities tagged on the Bikoy videos.
Kung he could prove and validate and substantiate yung mga allegations niya, syempre, di ba, active ang government in going after yung drug trade dito sa Philippines?
Opo.
That could help yung law enforcement. Kung maisa-substantiate niya, imuprove niya, may katotohanan yun.
Jaime, who was facing inciting to sedition charges, violated Article 142 of the Revised Penal Code or inciting to sedition in relation to Section 6 of Republic Act 10175 or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, according to the Department of Justice. The DOJ insists it is not part of Jaime's freedom of expression to create such website, but to inspire anger among the public towards the Duterte administration. The NBI is confident they can prove their case against Jaime, who on the other hand maintains he is not part of spreading the videos online. Jaime said he is ready to cooperate with the authorities towards the identification of the individuals behind the website. April Senedoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Philippine National Police can now arrest Peter Jamel Advincula, who has publicly introduced himself as alias Bikoy. Leia Ilagan tells us why.
Philippine National Police or PNP spokesperson Police Colonel Bernard Panac had earlier pronounced that the police would immediately arrest Peter Jamel Advincula, who introduced himself on May 6 as alias Bikoy, once they acquire a warrant of arrest against him. The PNP today revealed they have gotten hold of a copy of a warrant of arrest against Advincula released by the La Trinidad Benguet Municipal Trial Court on September 26, 2007 for estafa charges. Advincula and one of his colleagues had been required by the court to post a 6,000 peso bail for their temporary freedom. Criminal Investigation and Detection Group or CIDG Director, Police Major General Amador Corpus, has immediately ordered the CIDG National Capital Region and the Detection and Special Operations Unit or DSOU to look for and arrest Advincula. According to the police, Advincula had been victimizing not only innocent civilians but also authorities. Based on the police investigations, Advincula had been selling information in exchange for 50 to 80,000 pesos.
Kapag nag-offer kasi ang isang informante ng impormasyon, pero ang kapalit kaagad ay hinihingi ay halaga, lalo't ganito kalaki, meron na kaagad tayong pagdududa. So, pag mga ganun kasi talagang hindi rin naman tayo kaagad naniniwala.
Panac added that the PNP's investigations continue to confirm if Advincula and Bikoy are one and the same, as well as to unmask his cohorts that had passively paid him.
Posibilidad na may nagbayad sa kanya. Hindi itong si Mr. Advincula lalabas ng kusa lang niya. Definitely, nabayaran siya or nagkaroon ng transaction.
Bikoy is the person wearing a hoodie on videos entitled Ang Totoong Narcolist, narrating his allegations of involvement in the illegal drug trade against the First Family and other personalities. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
In other news, the slowest economic growth rate in the country in 16 quarters since 2015 is recorded this year. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA records a 5.6% gross domestic product of the country in the first quarter of 2019. Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Ernesto Perña said this is the slowest economic growth recorded in 16 quarters from 2015. Compared with that, in the first quarter of 2018, the Philippines' gross domestic product growth was at 6.5%, while in December 2018, it was at 6.3%. A reenacted budget is the primary reason of the slower pace of economic growth during the first part of the year, says Secretary Perña. The economic managers of the Duterte administration have even forewarned that an untimely passage of the proposed national budget would sharply slow the pace of our economic growth.
That's why it was very important for us, even for the next budget, to pass it on time. You know, we missed spending 1 billion pesos a day in the first 4 months. 1 billion pesos a day that could have gone to hiring more people, to construct roads, to providing health care, to providing better education.
Finance Secretary Dominguez also said the infrastructure projects of the government must be accelerated.
The specific measures are basically with accelerating the spending. You accelerate the bidding process. You ask the DPWH and the DOTR to move their projects faster. Those are the projects, and there are thousands of projects that we are doing this thing on. That's why it was so important to pass the budget on time. You know, all of this discussion about the budget really hurt the Filipino people.
Secretary Perña emphasized the Philippine economy must catch up in the remaining 3 quarters of the year by speeding up the implementation of the fiscal program under the 2019 General Appropriations Act or GAA. Rosalie Cos, UNTV, News and Rescue, Philippines.
Laban Consumer Group urges the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI to roll back its suggested retail price or SRP of some basic necessities and prime commodities. The Consumer Group's President Vic Dimagiba argues it is high time for the DTI to lower the prices of some products as the inflation in the country slows down. Based on a recent Philippine Statistics Authority report, the country's headline inflation slowed down further to 3.0% in April 2019. This is the lowest inflation posted since January 2018, the agency reported. Laban Consumer find it questionable why the prices of some brands of canned sardines, instant noodles, bottled water, and soap have increased, although the prices of raw materials of these items have lowered, he claims.
Ang amin pong panawagan ay napapalamunan na maramdaman naman ng consumer yan 3% inflation sa pamamagitan ng pagbaba ng presyo ng SRP sa mga pangunahing bilihin.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex has released the name of their newborn. As expected, the couple did not want to bring him up as a formal royal. Jovic Burmas will tell us why.
Introducing Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. That is the name of Britain's Prince Harry and his wife Meghan newborn. The announcement came hours after the new royal got his first taste of life in the limelight. Harry tightly cradled his son, wrapped in a white shawl and wearing a hat.
It's magic. It's pretty amazing. And I mean, I have the the two best guys in the world, so I'm really happy.
She said the boy was calm, had the sweetest temperament, and was sleeping well.
Yeah, and he's just been the dream, so it's been a special couple days.
While Archie is one of the 20 most popular names for baby boys in Britain, it is not widely used for American children. In the United States, where Meghan Markle was born and raised, thoughts tend to go to Archie Andrews, the popular red-headed all-American teenager who made his debut in Archie comics in 1941. But researchers quickly came up with the meanings behind the names. Archie is an abbreviation for Archibald, which means genuine, bold, and brave. Harrison means son of Harry, and Mountbatten was the personal surname used by some of the male line descendants of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. The baby, the 8th great-grandchild of 93-year-old Elizabeth, the world's longest-reigning monarch, will not automatically be a prince or be known as His Royal Highness unless the Queen issues a decree. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue, London, United Kingdom.
Polling precinct officials in Calamba Laguna experienced some vote counting machine glitches during the final testing and sealing today. Meanwhile, those in Davao City say they had a successful VCM testing and sealing. Sherwin Kulabong will tell us why.
13 vote counting machines or BCM were tested in Central 1 Elementary School in Calamba Laguna earlier today, but 4 of the machines malfunctioned. According to Arnel Auxilio, the chairman of Precinct Number 10, the machine's USB port did not operate properly and ballots could not be inserted.
Kanina po kasi nung pag-try namin ipasok yung balota, nagkaroon po ng paper jam.
Ito pong BCM, itong top niya ay hindi siya naglalak.
Hindi naglalak?
Oo. So, nung unang nag-testing kami, sinabi niya na hindi daw, ayaw niyang tanggapin yung balot. Meron daw obstruction. Pero wala naman talagang obstruction.
A technician tried to fix the BCM, but one machine was still unable to work normally.
Kulang sa gamit, and then mostly gamit po item. Katulad po nung last time or kanina, meron po ako ng interview na wala pong takip yung ibabaw ng ballot box nila.
According to the school principal of Jose Rizal Memorial School Central 1, the same problems were encountered in the 2016 presidential elections.
Ang ating machine ay ginamit na noong 2016. Noong 2016, ang karanasan namin ay maraming nasira. Hihingi ng reserve doon sa Comelec. Pag naubos, baka maraming nasira sa buong Calamba, ay hihintayin yung 12 matapos o isa man doon ay mauna.
In Davao City, on the other hand, all vote counting machines functioned properly during the final testing and sealing conducted by the Commission on Elections or Comelec Davao today. More than 1,000 BCMs will be distributed to polling precincts in the entire Davao region.
For this coming election, ESCO is 100% prepared, considering that we are expecting a lot of people coming this coming Monday. So we prepared its classroom for the voters.
Comelec also made sure that manual counting will be ready in case problems with the machines are encountered. Sherwin Kulubong, UNTV News and Rescue, Laguna.
The Commission on Elections sets a contingency plan in place for the transmission of election results in Ponte Vedra, Negros Occidental. Lalaine Moreno will tell us why.
During elections, the Electoral Board in the mountainous barangays of Ponte Vedra and Negros Occidental have a hard time transmitting the election results. On Monday, the day of the 2019 midterm elections, 9 schools in the town will serve as voting centers. To avoid any difficulty in the transmission of election results, the Commission on Elections or Comelec have prepared a contingency plan. Ponte Vedra Comelec Election Officer 3 Phoebus Terwell Jr. said they plan to borrow transmission media from nearby polling precincts. Comelec has also assured the security and safety of the teachers who will be assigned in the far-flung barangays. Soldiers and policemen are already in place to secure the areas. The municipality of Ponte Vedra is composed of 20 barangays, 20 voting centers with more than 34,000 voters, based on data from the Comelec. Meanwhile, some of the ballot boxes, vote counting machines, and voters registration verification machine or VRVM designated to Negros Occidental have arrived in the province. The final testing and sealing of the machines will be held tomorrow. Lalaine Moreno, UNTV News and Rescue, Negros Occidental.
The National Citizens Movement for Free Elections, or NAMFREL, say they will still serve as the lead convener for the random manual audit for the 2019 national and local elections. Aiko Miguel explains why.
They are not withdrawing their obligation in the random manual audit in the elections. This was the statement of Gus Lagman, the chairman of the National Citizens Movement for Free Elections, or NAMFREL, during an interview with the UNTV News.
Usually, NAMFREL pa nga nag-chair noon. At baka ngayon, NAMFREL pa rin ang mag-chair.
Lagman also clarified that their first statement was just to oppose a decision made by the Commission on Elections, or Comelec, on not granting their request to have an open access to data and information on the election results.
Wala namang security problem dun eh. Dahil resulta naman ng bawat presinto, dapat nga ang Comelec ang merong website na gawin nilang accessible sa lahat ng anybody who's interested. Dahil hindi nila ilalagay sa website ng Comelec, ang plano namin, ilalagay namin sa website ng NAMFREL para makita ng lahat.
Lagman hopes that the poll body would still retract its decision and grant their requests. They assure the public they will still coordinate with Comelec as the lead convener for the random manual audit this 2019 elections.
Sinasabi lang namin na huwag nyo na kami i-accredit kung hindi naman ninyo kami bibigyan ng ano. Pero walang pakialam yon doon sa kung anumang obligasyon na inaasahan sa amin ng mga tao at ibibigay naman ng Comelec. Gagawin namin.
On the other hand, Comelec said the random manual audit team has still to decide on this matter, considering NAMFREL's previous statement on backing out as a citizen's arm.
Tomorrow there will be a briefing by the random manual audit team. Let's find out if they're still considered part of the team, no? Remember, they're no longer accredited. So I am not yet very clear as to the nature of their participation. Will they now be just an independent third party without accreditation? I really can't say. This posture is now at odds with their very strong language from just a couple of days ago. Diba? Kasi a couple of days ago, they were saying they can't trust the elections anymore. Anyway, we'll see.
Meanwhile, according to election law expert Attorney George Erwin Garcia, it would be better for Comelec to grant NAMFREL's request. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
San Juan City Congressional hopeful Edo Manzano's camp yesterday said they would appeal his disqualification by the Commission on Elections. Sixto Brillantes Jr., former Comelec chairman and lawyer for Manzano, said they would file a motion for consideration with the Comelec en banc either today or tomorrow. Brillantes pointed out that Manzano is not yet out of the congressional race since the Comelec's decision is not final and executory. Prior to his congressional bid in San Juan, Manzano ran for vice mayor and mayor of Makati in 1998 and 2001 respectively. He also ran for vice president in 2010 and for senator in the 2016 elections. On Monday, the poll body canceled Manzano's candidacy, saying he committed false representation on his citizenship. The Philippine National Police and the Armed Forces of the Philippines are under the supervision of the Commission on Elections during the election period. PNP spokesperson Police Colonel Bernard Banac says it is also the Comelec who decides on the areas of concern to be declared as election hotspots. Mirasol Abogodil explains why.
The police and the military are under the supervision of the Commission on Elections, or Comelec, during elections. It is also the poll body who decides on the 946 areas identified as election hotspots. But PNP spokesperson Police Colonel Bernard Banac clarifies that the Philippine National Police, or PNP, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, give recommendations to Comelec as to the areas of concern to be categorized as election hotspots.
Kailangan may basbas ng Comelec. Kapag mayroong pangangailangan, immediately nagre-recommend ang PNP sa Comelec na magdadagdag tayo kasi ongoing ang monitoring ng Comelec, AFP, PNP sa peace and order sa lugar. So pag mayroong pangangailangan, agad mag-uusap.
Banak added that more than 149,000 PNP personnel will be deployed nationwide this coming elections, but only 2 policemen will be on their posts 50 meters away from each polling center. Additional PNP personnel and AFP Quick Reaction Response Team will also be deployed in problem areas like Mindanao.
Bilang deputized agency ng Comelec sa halalan, ang PNP ay otorisado na kaagad rumisponde sa anumang insidente ng karahasan or kaguluhan or any disorder or any disruption of order doon po sa polling centers at doon sa immediate na vicinity at doon sa lugar.
If an area needs additional forces, there is a Reactionary Standby Support Force or RSSF to be deployed in each region according to Banak. The PNP also reminds policemen not to post their personal opinion in favor of any political candidate on social media.
Patuloy naming pinapaalalahanan ang ating mga pulis na maging neutral, impartial at non-partisan.
It can be noted that in 2016, retired PNP Chief Ronald Bato de la Rosa became controversial after posting about then Davao City Mayor Rodrigo Duterte, who was running for president. De la Rosa was relieved from his post as brigade commander of the RSSF-10, but the PNP denied it is because of De la Rosa's social media post. Mirasol Abugadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
A political group questions the $211 million Kaliwa Dam Deal between the Philippines and China before the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the Justice Department continues to review the contracts entered into by the two countries. Mai Bermudez will tell us why.
Bayan Muna pleaded today before the Supreme Court and questioned the $211 million Kaliwa Dam project signed between the Philippines and China. The group said the contract clearly gives up the country's sovereignty through the waiver of immunity clause once the country fails to pay on time or comply with contract terms and conditions. Bayan Muna also questioned the confidentiality clause, which states that the terms and conditions of the contract must be confidential, which the group claims violates the Constitution.
May confidentiality clause siya na hanggang ngayon wala kaming kopya ng certified true copy ng Kaliwa Dam. At yung sinasabi nilang nasa website, hindi yan yung nire-refer ng Korte Suprema na certified true copy pag kami ay mag-file.
Bayan Muna also wants respondents to release documents in relation to the project's procurement and Chinese contractor.
Marami namang qualified siguro na mga contractor at mga labor dito sa Pilipinas. Bakit naman China lang ang pwedeng magkuha ng proyekto?
Hindi lang doon sa substantial na issue na nire-raise natin, kung hindi dahil na rin sa interes ng mamamayang Pilipino na nakasalalay dito, ang ating mga katutubo, ang mga direktang komunidad na tatamaan itong Kaliwa Dam, no? At ang susunod na henerasyon.
The construction of Kaliwa Dam aims to provide a new water source amid the increase in the demand of water supply in Metro Manila, with an estimated 600 million liters of water to add to the supply of water every day. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice or DOJ continuously reviews the contract, including the Chica River Pump Irrigation Project Loan Agreement, which had been earlier questioned in court. Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Manila International Airport Authority is mulling over permanently banning white taxis at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Jo Anano tells us why.
To eradicate abusive taxi drivers that transport passengers to and from the Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA, the Manila International Airport Authority or MIAA is considering to totally ban the operations of white taxis in the airport. This after authorities caught an abusive taxi driver who has gone viral on social media after he allegedly asked for additional fare on top of the regular charge from 2 foreign YouTube vloggers. According to MIAA General Manager Eddie Monreal, they started a white taxi ban in AIA Terminal 1 on Monday but clarified that this is just a trial run which will last for 2 weeks.
Pagka naging successful itong ginagawa natin sa Terminal 1, pag-aaralan naman natin yung Terminal 2 kung po pwedeng ituloy. Pagka maganda ko ang resulta at wala akong nai-inconvenience sa mga pasero, gagawin ko natin yan.
However, Monreal clarified that there is still a possibility for them to consider the operations of white taxis in NAIA as long as there will be changes in the attitude of abusive cab drivers.
Kung magpapakita sila ng mabuting asal at mawawala ho yun, baka pag-aralan ho namin na ibalik. Pero sa ngayon, I'm determined to slowly phase out this white taxi kasi hindi ho sila nagkikipag-operate sa atin. Marami pa rin akong nagiging pasaway at kawawa naman yung mga nabibiktima.
White taxi drivers, on the other hand, have mixed reactions on MIAA's proposal.
Wawalan kami na mababawasan ng kita. Mababawasan ng kita kasi dito lang kami umaasa rin kuminsan pag Dito lang kami pumapasok pag yung wala talaga pasero sa loob.
Well, ay ganyan talaga. May masama, may mabuti. Hindi may iwasan na maluan. So, wala tayong magawa kung pagbawal. Okay lang.
Plano pa lang naman, sir.
Okay lang. Basta kami patas lang. Okay lang.
Sa totoo lang, ang isang pasahero na nagkamali, ang isang driver na nagkamali, lahat nadadamay. Hindi maganda yon. Pero dapat, mga operator din kailangan talaga na pagsabihan nila mga driver na huwag naman ganoon kasi kawawa naman yung mga operator pagka nagkaroon na nasuspindi ang mga unit nila. Pati ng driver, kawawa rin.
Based on MIAA's data, they recorded more than 300 complaints against white taxis last year, while a total of 56 complaints were recorded from January to April this year. Joanna, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
Liverpool faces Tottenham Hotspur FC in Champions League final in Madrid in June. Asher Kadapan Jr. will tell us why.
The city of Liverpool was still buzzing on Wednesday morning after one of the club's most memorable European nights in living memory as they came back from a 3-0 first leg defeat at Barcelona to win 4-0 at Anfield and clinch a spot in the Champions League final. The victory was all the more remarkable considering Liverpool strikers Mohamed Salah was missing through injury against the Lionel Messi-led Barcelona. The Reds are also in a title run in for the league while Barca had secured their league title win. Fans voiced their disbelief at the incredible turn of fortunes on Tuesday night as Jurgen Klopp's men defied all odds to keep the team battling for Europe's biggest prize.
Last night was unbelievable. It was just like nerves after nerves. Every kick that was going in the ground, it was just absolutely unbelievable. It was electric.
It's a historical game, historical night, and honestly, I have to say we didn't believe Madrid would make it. I know it's not good to say that, but they made it, and it's stunning. It's amazing. It's unheard of.
Liverpool are still in the running for the league title, an honor that has eluded the club for nearly 3 decades. In the Champions League at the Estadio Metropolitano Madrid on June 1, Liverpool will meet Tottenham Hotspur, who beat Ajax in a 3-2 win in the Champions League semi-final on Wednesday. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue.
The Quezon Province Police will heighten their monitoring in the province as the day of the midterm elections draws near. Gladys Tuwabi explains why.
The Quezon Province Criminal Investigation and Detection Group arrested an individual for another case of alleged vote buying. This comes after a male identified as Fredelino Villena Cunanan was intercepted on Tuesday by authorities over supposed vote buying. The residents of Pagbilao, Quezon themselves reported the incident to the police after they saw the suspect carrying sample ballots, 20,000 pesos and list of voters. The suspect was identified as Raymond Catalia, 35 years old. 2 of his companions, however, were able to escape. The authorities were able to confiscate from the suspect 36 sample ballots, 20,000 pesos, unlicensed 9mm pistol, bullets, and list of names of voters and their corresponding precinct numbers.
Hindi na kailangang maghintay pa ng warrant of arrest. Pagka sila ay nahuli natin in flagrante delicto, pwede po natin silang hulihin at dalhin po sa pinakamalapit na police station.
Because of a series of vote-buying incidents in Quezon, authorities will double their monitoring efforts in the province, especially on the day of the elections. Almost 1,000 police have been deployed across Quezon Province.
Ang ating pong Quezon Police Provincial Office ay nakapaghanda na po para po sa mga ganyang pangyayari. Sa katunayan po ay nagdagdag po tayo ng mga augments sa bawat stations po.
Calistrano also thanked the public for reporting such vote-buying incidents for more orderly and peaceful elections on May 13th. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News at Rescue, Philippines.
Hugpong ng pagbabago or HNP Chair and Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio holds a meeting de avance for the party's senatorial bets in Davao City today. It is the final campaign rally of the HNP senatoriables before Monday's elections. Hugpong ng pagbabago is supporting 13 senatorial candidates, all of which are either allies or supportive of the Duterte administration. Meanwhile, President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to grace hugpong ng pagbabago's meeting de avance initiated by his daughter Sara Duterte. President Rodrigo Duterte has declared the election day, May 13, 2019, a special non-working holiday. Duterte signed a proclamation number 719 on Thursday to enable the people to properly exercise the right to vote. The nation will hold the midterm national and local elections on Monday. Around 61 million registered voters are expected to cast their votes for several elective positions from senator to municipal councilor. Some areas in the country experienced heavy rains yesterday, but the Philippines Weather Bureau says fair weather will be experienced on Monday, the election day. Meanwhile, the water level in La Mesa Dam increased as of this morning. Ray Pelayo explains why.
Motorists and commuters had a hard time traveling on E. Rodriguez and Quezon Avenues last night due to the rain and flooding experienced in those areas. But the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA said the dry season is not yet over and that it's the frontal system that caused the rain in most parts of the country yesterday. Starting this weekend and even on the election day on Monday, Filipinos must expect fair weather.
Back dun sa fair weather and then mainit na temperatura, lalo na sa tanghali.
PAGASA still warns the public, especially in places where high heat indices have been recorded. In Virac, Catanduanes, the heat index yesterday reached 52.2 degrees Celsius. It broke this season's record high heat index of 51.7 degrees Celsius recorded in Dagupan City last April 9. PAGASA recorded no rainfall in Virac yesterday while humidity in the city reached 80%, which was a factor that contributed to the heat index to rise. Once the heat index reached 42 degrees Celsius, heat exhaustion is likely and heat stroke is probable with continued activity. Meanwhile, the water level of La Mesa Dam has increased by 10 centimeters as of this morning due to the rain yesterday. La Mesa Dam's water level now is 68.55 meters. But Manila Water said the water level in La Mesa Dam should be more than 69 meters before it can share water allocation for Metro Manila use. Based on PAGASA's projection, 10 days rain like that of yesterday's is needed for La Mesa Dam to reach that water level.
Kung patuloy yung mga pag-ulan, malalakas na ulan within watershed, unti-unti itong tataas. Pero kung may hina lang na pag-ulan dahil nga dry pa yung soil, useless din.
The heavy rain yesterday also helped in a slow drop in Angat Dam's water level, which is now 174.78 meters. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
And for the news abroad, here's Kath Lumraos live from Bangkok, Thailand. Kath, good evening.
Good evening, Diego.
U.S. President Donald Trump said he would be happy to keep tariffs on Chinese imports as the two countries prepare for new talks to try to rescue a faltering trade deal. Beverly Saison will tell us why.
U.S. President Donald Trump said China broke the deal in trade talks, ramping up hostilities ahead of negotiations between the two sides. The comments come as Beijing said it would retaliate with necessary countermeasures if the U.S. raises tariffs on Chinese products. Trump has vowed to more than double tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese goods on Friday.
We won't back down until China stops cheating our workers and stealing our jobs, and that's what's going to happen. Otherwise, we don't have to do business with them.
Despite that, the two sides are due to hold trade talks in the U.S. on Thursday. Ahead of the discussions, Trump accused China's leaders of breaking the deal the U.S. was negotiating on trade.
But they broke the deal. They can't do that, so they'll be paying. We don't make the deal. Nothing wrong with taking in over $100 billion a year. 100 billion. We never did that before, and we have that happening, a lot of good things happening with a lot of countries.
Only recently, the two sides seem to be nearing an agreement that would put an end to the trade war. But on Sunday, Trump said on Twitter the U.S. would hike tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods this week and could introduce fresh tariffs. U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer later accused China of backtracking on commitments in trade talks. However, he insisted a deal with Beijing was still possible. Tariffs are taxes paid by importers on foreign goods, so a 25% tariff imposed by the U.S. on Chinese goods would be paid by American companies. The escalation of the trade war has sent waves across financial markets. Beverly Saison, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
Lawyers for a senior Huawei executive say they intend to apply for a stay of proceedings in a high-profile extradition case. Meng Wanzhou, 47, was arrested in Canada in December at the request of the U.S. The U.S. wants the tech executive extradited to stand trial on charges, including fraud linked to the alleged violation of sanctions on Iran. The case has soured relations between China, Canada, and the U.S. A U.S. House of Representatives panel has voted to hold Attorney General William Barr in contempt of Congress for not releasing a redacted copy of the report of the Russian election meddling. The Judiciary Committee took the rare step of tensions rose over Special Counsel Robert Mueller's findings. Earlier, President Donald Trump used his executive privilege for the first time to block the report's disclosure. The White House and Congress accused each other of abusing power. Mueller's report did not conclude that there was a criminal conspiracy between Moscow and the Trump campaign to influence the 2016 U.S. presidential election. However, Mueller did detail 10 instances where Trump possibly attempted to impede the investigation. The Trump administration is deploying a carrier strike group and bombers to the Middle East in response to troubling indications and warnings from Iran. This report will tell us why. 4 B-52 bombers are being deployed to the Middle East in response to what administration officials said earlier this week are threats of a possible attack by Iran or allied fighters on American troops in the region. Amid rising tensions between the United States and Iran, U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton said the decision was in response to a number of troubling escalatory indications and warnings. Any attack on U.S. interests or its allies will be met with unrelenting force. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Joseph Dunford meanwhile defended the decision during a Senate Appropriations Subcommittee hearing on Capitol Hill.
We saw the intelligence, and so we sent some messages on Friday to make sure that it was clear to Iran that we recognized the threat and we were postured to respond to the threat. And then what I asked the Secretary for on Sunday, eventually Lincoln would have made its way to the Gulf. What I asked really was to accelerate the movement of the Lincoln and the Bomber Task Force so that there would be no ambiguity about our preparedness to respond to any threat against our people or our partners in the region.
The show of power marked the latest in a series of moves by President Donald Trump's administration aimed at ratcheting up pressure on Iran in recent months. Washington has said it will stop waivers for countries buying Iranian oil in an attempt to reduce Iran's oil exports to zero. It has also blacklisted Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard Corps, taking the unprecedented step of designating it as a foreign terrorist organization, which Iran has cast as an American provocation. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue. One of the suspects in the fatal Colorado school shooting that left one person dead and 8 others injured made his first court appearance. Meanwhile, at least 5 civilians were killed after suicide bombers attacked an aid agency in Kabul, Afghanistan. Ferdy Petalio explains us why.
In Afghanistan, the Taliban have attacked the Kabul office of a U.S. aid group, killing at least 5 people and wounding 24. Militants are believed to have set off a suicide car bomb before entering the offices of Counterpoint International, resulting in a standoff with Afghan security forces. All 5 attackers were also killed in the attack, and at least 200 workers were evacuated from the building. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, UN mission in the country, and Afghans strongly condemned the attack, which occurred on the 3rd day of Muslims' fasting month of Ramadan. In the USA, an early morning fire swept through an apartment in New York on Wednesday, killing 6 people including 4 children. The fire broke out in a 9th-floor apartment in the city's Harlem neighborhood. New York City Fire Department Commissioner Daniel Nigro said when firefighters gained access to the apartment, the residents were already dead. According to reports, it took firefighters about 2 hours to get the blaze under control. The cause of the fire is unknown, but there are no signs that the fire was set intentionally. Meanwhile, the older of 2 students accused of opening fire in a suburban Denver high school, killing 1 classmate and injuring 8 others, was being held on Wednesday on murder and attempted murder charges, court records showed. The 18-year-old suspect being charged as an adult, Devon Erickson, made an initial appearance on Wednesday in Douglas County District Court in Castle Rock, Colorado. His accused accomplice, who is under the age of 18 and has not been publicly identified, is being charged separately as a juvenile, authorities said. The 2 teenagers are accused of opening fire on fellow students in 2 classrooms at the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math School in Highlands Ranch. The 18-year-old student killed in the shooting, identified by his family as Kendrick Ray Castillo, was a senior, just days away from graduation. Police said on Wednesday as they continued to search for a motive in the attack. Ferdy Petalio, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you, Kath Dumaraos, reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand. The future of shopping has already arrived in Brazil, with the city of Sao Paulo seeing its first automated store opening its doors to customers earlier this year. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
Startup retailer Zite has opened its second automated store in Brazil, located in the busy upscale neighborhood of Itaim Bibi in Sao Paulo. The newly installed store has 900 stock-keeping units or SKUs, and the product mix currently consists of predominantly food-for-now options, snacks, drinks, a small selection of chilled items, and personal hygiene items. Before they can dash off to make purchases, customers need to download the designated app on their cell phones and register an account using an online payment method. Then, they can enter the 24-hour convenience store and buy goods by scanning QR codes. Zite opened Latin America's first automated store in East Brazil's Vitória back in December 2017. Zite believes the nature of automated stores suits the fast pace of life in big cities such as Sao Paulo, and is using the pilot store to continue to explore ways to improve user experience.
We are also able to collect all kinds of data through the store's operation, including who comes in and when, their age, or the temperature outside, through AI technology. All this information will help improve the store's automation.
Some customers say their experience is good.
I saw their app on social media and it felt pretty interesting. So I thought I'd give it a try. There's no lines, it's convenient and practical, which is good.
While others say the store needs improvement.
The app design is very good, but I noticed some items I had my eyes on in the app were sold out when I got to the store. So the idea is good, but needs improvement.
Zite already has plans to open another 20 automated stores by the end of the year. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Australia's latest 50 Australian dollar note comes with a big blunder hidden in the small print, a somewhat embarrassing typo. The Reserve Bank of Australia spelled responsibility as responsibility without the I on millions of the new yellow notes. The RBA confirmed the typo on Thursday and said the error would be fixed in future print runs. But for now, around 46 million of the new notes are in use across the country. The bills were released late last year and featured Edith Cowan, the first female member of an Australian parliament. And those are the reasons behind the news this May 9, 2019. On behalf of Angela Lagunzad, I'm Angelo Castro III, and before we close, we will recap with today's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Ang initial isip ko is to talk to those people because some of them I know personally. Siguro sabihin natin mga 5 or 6 police officers.
Mga taga-PMA din?
Yung iba, unfortunately.
Posibilidad na may nagbayad sa kanya. Hindi itong si Mr. Advincula lalabas ng kusa lang niya. Definitely, nabayaran siya or nagkaroon ng transaction.
That's why it was very important for us, even for the next budget, to pass it on time. You know, we missed spending 1 billion pesos a day in the first 4 months. 1 billion pesos a day that could have gone to hiring more people, to construct roads, to providing health care, to providing better education.
Ito pong PCM, itong top niya ay hindi siya naglalak.
Hindi naglalak?
Oo. So, nung unang nag-testing kami, ayaw niyang tanggapin yung balot. Meron daw obstruction. Pero wala naman talagang obstruction.
Ang ating machine ay ginamit na noong 2016. Noong 2016, ang karanasan namin ay maraming nasira. Ihihingi ng reserve doon sa Comelec. Pag naubos, baka maraming nasira sa buong Calamba, ay hihintayin yung 12 matapos o isa man doon ay mauna.
May confidentiality clause siya na hanggang ngayon wala kaming kopya ng certified true copy ng Kaliwa Dam. At yung sinasabi nilang nasa website, hindi yan yung nire-refer ng Korte Suprema na certified true copy pag kami ay mag-file.
Kung magpapakita sila ng mabuting asal at mawawala ho yun, baka pag-aralan ho namin na ibalik. Pero sa ngayon, I'm determined to slowly phase out this white taxi. Kasi hindi ho sila nagkikipag-operate sa atin. Marami pa rin ho nagiging pasaway at kawawa naman yung mga nabibiktima.